Hey everyone, this is Mendhi Audlin, and I have a special message for those of you who are leaders of a spiritual community that you would love to see grow, but it isn't. So if that's you, if you are leading a spiritual community and you want to see that community grow and thrive and serve and transform lives in a bigger and bigger way, and you're just maybe frustrated that it just isn't happening as fast as you like, or maybe you've plateaued, or maybe you're even experiencing some decline and you're just trying to figure out what's going on, I want to share with you 3 underlying problems that typically lead to that kind of scenario and something that you can do about it. So if you know much about me, you know that I love small groups. I believe that small group networks are an integral part of creating a healthy organization. So know that when I'm talking about growing your organization, it's easy to say growing your organization and talk about how many people are there, talk about the numbers, and that is one aspect of it. But know that for me, where my heart is and what my passion is when I'm talking about growing your organization, I'm talking about spiritually growing the people within your organization, so that the people in your organization are experiencing growth and transformation. Because when that happens, they tell their friends, they bring your friends, and you get the numbers. So the numbers happen when that growth is happening on the inside. And I believe that small groups and small group networks are the way to create that kind of support and accountability and infrastructure and connection and relationship that allows for that deep personal growth to happen. And that creates growth in your organization. So if you're not experiencing growth, I wanted to share with you 3 problems that I typically see in churches that aren't experiencing growth and provide a possible remedy for you. So problem number 1, and you may have heard this in your congregation. Everybody says they want to grow, but nobody wants to change. If you've experienced that, people all on board that, yes, grow, let's grow, let's create strategies and all these things. But every time you come up with a new idea, they're like, no, that's not how we've done it before. That's different. We don't do it that way. If you're running up against that, then that is a problem to address. Because if you're going to grow, I guarantee you things are going to change, right? That's our principle is that, if you want something to grow, you've got to be okay with thinking differently, thinking bigger thoughts, thinking growth thoughts. And so that is a change. And people are just going to have to be okay with that. Now, that being said, you can structure things in a way where you're minimizing change for those who've been there for a long time and focusing your changes on those that you're trying to attract. That brings us to problem number 2. Are you ready? So here's the number 2 problem that a lot of churches face when they're trying to grow. The people you have are not the people you are trying to attract. I know that sounds weird. Let me say it again. The people you have in your community are not the people you are trying to attract. Now, why is that important to know? Because what's going to happen is you're going to have these ideas for how to reach new people. Hey, let's get on Facebook. Let's get on Twitter. Let's do videos. Let's do online church. Let's do small groups. What a great idea. And then those of your congregation who have been there for years and years and years, they may hear those ideas and they may think, I don't like Twitter. I don't like Facebook. Maybe you've heard this. I don't watch church online. I don't think these are good ideas because I don't like it. But know that when you are trying to grow your community, that you're looking for not the people that are already there. I mean, we don't want to change things up too much for them, but for the people that are there, they've already got their friends. They've already got their circles. They've got their things they do. They are comfortable. So you want to keep them comfortable and think about on your growing edge, what are the things you can do to reach the people who are not in your community right now? And that may mean that you're going to Facebook and Twitter. You may be going places where your existing congregation does not hang out. But know that you've got to go to those new places in order to find those new people. So the people to ask when you're thinking about a new program, whether it's small groups or social media or whatever it is, you go to the people who are not part of your community. You go to the people who are spiritual and looking to connect with others who are of like mind. And you say, would this be interesting to you? Would this idea, this workshop, this class, this concert, this whatever, would it be interesting to you? That's where you want to get your feedback, because the feedback you're going to get from your comfortable congregation that's been there forever may not be the best feedback to serve you in reaching the new people. All right, so that's issue number 2. Here's issue number 3. If you have not been growing in the past 6 to 18 months, So if for the past year you've either plateaued a bit or maybe you've experienced some decline, if you haven't experienced growth in the past year or so, know that in order to grow, you're going to have to experience a cultural shift. Culture change within an organization is not an easy thing. It requires a tremendous amount of vision and commitment and discernment to know how fast to move your people to something different. So what happens a lot of times is we'll move into a ministry where maybe there's a plateau or there's a decline, and we'll introduce a new program, maybe something like a small group program. And in the beginning, usually everyone's kind of excited. Yes, I'll sign up. I'd love to attend. I'd love to participate, because a lot of these ministries are very participatory. I'll show up for church. I'll show up. I'll be entertained. I'll be fed. And then what they find is when they get in their group that there's some accountability, there's some responsibility, that there's leadership development involved, there's a commitment involved. And sometimes people are like, oh, that's not my speed. That's not how I do things. I don't like to make commitments. I don't like to take on big responsibilities. I just want to come and enjoy. And if you've got people like that consistently, I guarantee you over time, your organization is going to plateau and eventually decline. In order to have a thriving organization or a thriving community, you have to cultivate a culture where people love to make commitments. Like, when's my next commitment? How can I serve? How can I lead? How can I grow? That's the culture you need. I'm not afraid to commit. I'll commit to lead something. How do you shift your culture from what it was to what it could be? And that takes time and commitment. Commitment to saying, this is where we're going. This is where we need to be in order for us to grow and to transform lives the way we know we are meant. We are put on this planet to transform lives. So with that being said, I want to invite you to our very first small group leadership summit. It's at Unity Village, Missouri from June 10th to 12th. And there's lots of reasons why I think it's a great idea. For those of you doing small groups and those of you thinking of doing small groups, and for those of you who maybe haven't thought of small groups, but you're facing that decline and you can't figure out why, come to this summit. Come to this summit, because what happens is when you get together with other churches that are doing this, you start to see best practices, you get to see what works, and it will strengthen your commitment to holding that vision. Now, here's the other piece. Your minister should come, absolutely. If you're the minister, you should come. If you have a program leader, a staff member responsible for small groups, that person should come. The other people that should come, you should be inviting your small group leaders. You should be inviting those people who are thinking of starting a group. And you should be inviting those people who have participated in a group and are rock stars, but maybe they just haven't quite thought of themselves as a leader yet. Invite all those people to come to this summit. Because what happens when those people get there is they see that your small groups program is not a fly-by-night idea. It's not some book of the week where we're taking some ideas and dabbling with them, but then we're going to move on to something else. It'll help them see that what you're implementing is something that is part of the cultural fabric of your community. And it'll give them social evidence to see how it works when it is implemented consistently and with commitment of the leaders within your congregation, your community. So that is the invitation. I would love to see you June 10th through 12th, Unity Village, Missouri. This is open to all spiritual organizations, all New Thought organizations, any mission-driven organization, really. If the mission is at the core, you want to, for me, it's about connecting with people. Maybe for you, it's about transforming lives. If you're mission-driven in your ministry and you want to see it grow, this is the place to be. So I look forward to seeing you there. Sign up now. We only have so many seats, and we intend to pack the house. So looking forward to seeing you. Please spread the word and bring your people and create that change.